Somewhere between Earth and the edge of imagination, there lies a place most never see. Nevada. A land shaped by silence, by sun, by stone. A place where the rules of the familiar quietly unravel. Mountains rise like frozen fire. Canyons whisper secrets in the wind. And time stretches, not forward, but outward, layered in rock, wind, and sky. This is not a place you pass through. It's a place you feel. A place you remember in your bones, long after the dust has settled. Welcome to Nevada's hidden wonders. Not manufactured, not imagined, but born of the earth, untouched, and utterly surreal. The name doesn't lie. The Valley of Fire feels like the surface of another world. Red sandstone flares in the sun, igniting the landscape in a glow so vibrant, it could be mistaken for flame. Formed over 150 million years ago. From ancient shifting dunes, the valley is a living museum of stone, every curve and striation a testament to the slow violence of wind and time. As you walk among the fire wave, its bands of pink, ivory, and scarlet swirl like frozen tides. Nearby, slot canyons like white domes twist inward, inviting you into narrow corridors of cool shadow and echoing light. But this place holds more than color and shape. It holds memory. At Atlatl Rock, petroglyphs etched into stone tell stories older than any building, symbols of hunters, animals, and spirits. Carved 1,000 years ago by the ancestral Puebloans, still visible under the midday sun. Even the rocks seem to breathe. In the hush of this blazing valley, you can hear the deep time of the earth, speaking in silence. Just beyond the edges of Las Vegas, another world begins. Red Rock Canyon is not loud. It hums, with wind, with stone, with presence. Towering cliffs of Aztec sandstone, blushed in hues of deep crimson and ivory, rise like monuments carved by fire. But this place wasn't burned. It was shaped, over 600 million years, by seas, by uplift, by the patience of erosion. Hikers move slowly here, not from exhaustion, but reverence. Trails like Icebox Canyon cut deep into shadowed ravines, where rare pools form after desert rains. The Calico Hills ripple for miles, a tide of petrified dunes, twisted and bent by the shifting of continents. Above, bighorn sheep scale cliffs with quiet confidence, their horns silhouetted against pale blue sky. And when night falls, this becomes a designated dark sky sanctuary. Stars bloom in the silence, like sparks remembered by the stone. On the desert floor, where beige sand stretches endlessly, a burst of color interrupts the silence. 7 towers, each stacked with giant boulders, fluorescent pink, electric blue, yellow like sunlight. They don't belong, and yet they do. This is Seven Magic Mountains, an art installation by Swiss artist Ugo Rondinone, born not from nature, but in dialogue with it. Each stone was harvested locally, but painted in impossible hues, a human fingerprint pressed boldly into an ancient landscape. The installation was meant to be temporary, a flash of color before fading away. But it stayed, because people came, and they didn't stop. Now, it's a modern pilgrimage, a reminder that even in emptiness, we can create something striking, without erasing what came before. It's art in defiance of isolation, a vertical echo in a horizontal world. It was never meant to exist. Fly Geyser is a geological accident, a byproduct of a failed geothermal drill that pierced too deep into the Earth's secret. Out came water, scalding, charged with minerals, and with it, a geyser began to build itself. Decade by decade, layer upon layer, colors bloomed. Now it stands, a living sculpture of reds, greens, and gold, shaped by heat, water, and time. It pulses, it hisses, it grows, crusted in thermophilic algae, bathed in mineral springs. Fly Geyser is more than a curiosity. It is a reminder that Earth is never finished, always building, always spilling beauty from its depths. Hidden on private land, tucked away from passing eyes, it rises like a fever dream against the blankness of Black Rock Desert. Flat, white, endless. The Black Rock Desert is a canvas, measuring over 1,000 square miles. Once an ancient lakebed, now a blank stage of dust and silence. But for 1 week each year, that silence is broken by the birth of a temporary city. This is Burning Man, a gathering of artists, wanderers, visionaries. No money, no cell signal, just creation and fire. At its heart, a wooden effigy, massive, symbolic, and destined to burn. Around it, art blooms in every form. Metal serpents coil across the playa. Temples rise and fall in ash. Every structure, temporary. Every moment, intentional. It is not a festival. It is a ritual, a release. And when the week ends, the desert is left untouched. No trace, no scar. Only silence again, and space ready to be filled once more. In the center of Nevada's desolation, the sun is captured and bent to our will. Thousands of mirrors turn in unison, tracking light across the sky. This is the Crescent Dunes Solar Project, a futuristic bloom rising from barren soil. At its heart, a tower filled with molten salt, storing the sun's fire long after it sets. Here, technology meets environment, not in conflict, but in cooperation. Each day, this place gathers enough energy to power tens of thousands of homes, clean, silent, enduring. And yet from afar, it feels like something else, an alien temple summoning light from a star 93 million miles away. Even in the most remote corners, the future can take root. Halfway between here and nowhere, a town clings to memory. Tonopah, once a silver boom town, where fortunes were dug from dust and lives were spent in darkness below ground. Today, its mine shafts are silent. Its main street, worn but standing, and its most unusual attraction, a place where laughter meets fear, the Clown Motel. Out front, dozens of clown statues grinning in frozen poses. Inside, walls covered in circus memorabilia, a surreal refuge for the curious and the brave. Next door, a cemetery where miners rest beneath the desert sky, their graves scorched by sun and cooled only by wind. Tonopah is a place between eras, a town once vital, now surviving as a monument to strangeness, to resilience, to the idea that wonder doesn't always come polished. Sometimes it comes with chipped paint and a clown's smile. Where the Colorado River carved through stone, another force once carved through dreams. Nelson was a boomtown of gold and grit, a place where miners fought more than just the earth. They fought each other and the land itself. In the mid-1800s, they came in droves. Saloons opened, gun smoke hung in the air, and gold shimmered just beneath their boots. But it didn't last. Today, Nelson is frozen, not in time, but in memory. Rust decorates abandoned cars like armor. A general store still stands, its walls filled with relics, bottles, tools, forgotten toys, rusted engines, skeletal trucks, a ghostly fleet awaiting drivers who will never return. And above it all, the desert watches, silent, unforgiving, but still breathtaking. This isn't a museum. It's a memory you can walk through. Just beyond the noise of Las Vegas, a different rhythm plays. Red Rock Canyon, a cathedral of stone and color. For over 600 million years, time sculpted these layers of sandstone and shale. Iron oxide painted them in deep crimsons and burnt orange, as if the desert had caught fire and never cooled. This is not a place you walk through quickly. Trails wind between canyons and cliffs. Ancient petroglyphs hide among the shadows. Climbers trace vertical lines, where wind and water carved long before them. The Calico Hills, striped in red and cream, roll like petrified waves. Even the sky feels different here, closer, sharper, like it's watching back. You don't just visit Red Rock, you enter it, and it stays with you. It doesn't get its name from temperature, though it scorches in the summer. The Valley of Fire is named for the rocks themselves, burning red in the sun, glowing like embers at dusk. Some are 150 million years old. Others look like they were sculpted yesterday. Here, erosion is the artist, wind and water the brush. You'll find arches balancing impossibly on thin legs, canyons so narrow they whisper when you walk. The fire wave undulates in stripes of red and cream, frozen in motion, at Atlatl Rock, petroglyphs carved by ancient hands. Speak across 1,000 years. Animal tracks, hunters, dreams, and roaming between it all. The desert bighorn sheep, graceful, enduring, born to climb where humans hesitate. Valley of Fire doesn't ask for attention. It demands reverence. Where desert meets engineering, a new world was carved. Hoover Dam, monumental, defiant. Built during the Great Depression, it harnessed a river, and with it, a region. 3.25 million cubic yards of concrete, thousands of workers, a triumph of will over landscape. Below its towering wall, Lake Mead, a man-made marvel, shimmering blue amid endless tan. It supplies water to millions. It lights up cities. It makes life in the desert possible. But it's more than function. Along its shores, you'll find stillness. Kayakers drift beneath cliffs. Fishermen cast lines at dawn. And far above, bighorn sheep patrol ancient ridgelines. The dam may hold back the river, but it also reflects the force of ambition, the audacity to reshape nature, and the responsibility to protect it. Tucked away from the Strip's glare, a new kind of oasis waits. Lake Las Vegas, a shimmering illusion, yet wholly real. Created in the 1990s, this man-made lake carves its own rhythm, where Mediterranean charm meets Mojave silence. Arched bridges, cobblestone streets, reflections of stucco villas ripple in blue water. But it's not just a resort. It's a vision, a retreat, a crafted world for those who seek calm. In the heart of the desert's breath, just beyond the lake lies Henderson, Nevada's second-largest city, born not from glitz, but from grit. Once a wartime industrial hub, now a green-minded urban sprawl. With parks, solar rooftops, and trails that wind through native scrubland. Henderson isn't loud. It's livable, grounded, and yet, it quietly keeps Nevada's future humming forward. In the heart of Nevada's isolation, sunlight is not just seen, it is harvested. The Crescent Dunes solar project unfolds like a sci-fi bloom. 10,000 mirrors bending the sky toward a glowing tower. Here, molten salt becomes liquid fire, storing the sun's energy, long after it dips below the mountains. Just "20 miles away lies Tonopah, a mining town carved from silver dreams. In 1900, it was chaos, miners, gamblers, barkeeps, a dust-blown promise of wealth. Now it whispers. Its heartbeat steady but slower. History lingers in rusted carts, in the wooden bones of saloons long silenced. Above it all, the stars reign. With some of the darkest skies in the continental U.S., Tonopah has become an unlikely temple to the cosmos. Stargazers gather, telescopes aimed upward, seeking mystery not beneath the earth, but above it. Fed by the Truckee River and held in place by time, Pyramid Lake is sacred. Still, vast, a saltwater mirror cupped in the high desert. Its name comes from the angular rock that juts from its shore. A pyramid, yes, But to the northern Paiute, it is something more. The Stone Mother, a guardian, turned to stone while waiting for her lost children to return. There's a silence here that feels inhabited, ancient, aware. Fish leap through shallow waves, ospreys nest in rock spires, and the wind never quite stops whispering. Pyramid Lake is not a tourist lake. It is a spirit held in water, a place you don't conquer, only visit gently. At Nevada's eastern edge, where mountains meet the stars, a secret unfolds. Great Basin National Park, a convergence of extremes, desert floors, alpine summits, and between them, time layered in stone and silence. Wheeler Peak rises 13,063 feet. Its snow-capped shoulders carry wind older than memory. From its ridges, bristlecone pines cling to life, twisted, ancient, some over 5,000 years old, still breathing. Below, the Lehman Caves descend into marble darkness. Delicate shields and stalactites gleam under lantern glow, a silence thicker than sound. At night, the stars emerge unfiltered, uncaged by city glow. An entire galaxy laid bare. Great Basin doesn't seek attention. It rewards presence. It is the patient Nevada, the ancient Nevada, the wild that still waits. If Mars had a memory, it might look like this. Valley of Fire, Nevada's oldest state park, a cathedral of red sandstone, sculpted by wind and time over 150 million years. Ridges rise like frozen flames. Canyons twist into painted corridors. Each curve a fossil of weather. Each rock face a chapter of fire and flood. The fire wave undulates in stone, bands of coral, ivory, and rust, rolling across desert floor like a paused ocean swell. Nearby, Atlatl Rock tells older stories, etched symbols from 1,000 years ago, drawn by the ancestral Puebloans. A hand, a spiral, a bighorn sheep caught mid-step. They are not forgotten, just waiting. The desert bighorns still roam here, leaping from ledge to ledge with impossible grace. Their horns, massive and coiled, echo the shapes of the land itself. This is a place where silence speaks, where heat writes poetry. Where once there was gold, now there is glass. Rhyolite, a ghost town on the edge of Death Valley, born in a boom, gone in a blink. At its peak, 3 train lines, 2,000 people, electric lights, a symphony hall, even a stock exchange. Now, empty windows, crumbling banks, and silence thick as dust. But Rhyolite refuses to fade entirely. Its bottle house, built from over 50,000 liquor bottles, still catches the morning sun in shards of green and amber. Not decay, but mosaic. Beside the ruins, the Goldwell Open Air Museum rises from the sand. Surreal sculptures, a ghostly Last Supper, a towering pink woman made of cinder blocks. Art here is both eulogy and defiance. It says, We were here, we are still dreaming. And then, there is the edge of the world. Death Valley, not just the hottest place in North America, but one of its most misunderstood. Temperatures soar past 120 degrees. Rain rarely comes. And yet, life insists. Salt flats shimmer. Sand dunes hum under moonlight. Canyons hold shadows that stretch for days. The Amargosa Big Dune rises like a sleeping leviathan, its fine grains shaped by centuries of wind, every ridge a memory in motion. The valley was named by pioneers who nearly perished here, but what they feared, we now protect. It is harsh, yes, but it is also beautiful, in ways only solitude can teach. There is color here. At artist's palette, the hills blush in hues of green, pink, and violet. Not painted, oxidized by minerals, kissed by sun. Death Valley does not apologize for its extremes. It reveals what survives them. Neon dreams blaze in the Mojave night. Las Vegas, a mirage that never fades. Born in desert dust, but raised on spectacle. The Strip pulses like an electric river. Replicas of distant empires, miniature wonders and fountain shows timed to operas and rock ballads. It is sensory overload. It is escape. It is ambition in LED form. But just an hour away, another Nevada rises. Mount Charleston, towering nearly 12,000 feet, shakes the heat from its shoulders and grows still. Here, pine forests whisper under snowfall, deer move through shadows, and trails disappear into alpine quiet. The contrast is astonishing. In one state, two worlds, one man-made, one timeless. And somehow, both are real. Up north, away from the glare, Reno stands with quiet confidence. They call it the biggest little city in the world, and somehow it fits. Not as loud as Vegas, not as remote as Tonopah. Reno is something in between. A town of gamblers, yes, but also hikers, artists, and those who prefer their wonder with fewer crowds. The Truckee River runs through its heart, not just a waterway, but a pulse. It begins at Lake Tahoe, winds eastward, and ends in sacred Pyramid Lake. Its banks host festivals, walkers, kayakers, and dreamers with coffee in hand. It is a thread of movement in a town that never fully stops, but never quite rushes. Nevada is a state of contradiction, a place where illusion thrives, and so does truth. Where a neon skyline rises from sand, and 5,000-year-old trees lean into icy wind. Where salt flats stretch wider than belief, and ghost towns whisper of glory lost, and found again in silence. This is not just the land of Las Vegas. It is a mosaic of light and shadow, heat and cold, art and erosion. It's a place where humanity dared to build, but nature still holds the script. The hidden wonders of Nevada don't clamor for attention. They wait, patiently, powerfully, for those willing to look.